All right, guys, I'm back. I think we have figured this mess out. I hope. I'm gonna look at the performance window. Here we go. I hope it's not. It looks like it's going smooth, but it's looking like it's not going smooth. So I tell you what, if it goes and it drops again, I'm going straight on my phone. All right, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it does. Let me go here. And again, I apologize, guys. This is what happens when you don't have no internet. Because my internet got cut and it's been rough. So right now I'm doing some rough streaming. So y'all gotta bear with me. All right, so far I can be seen a little bit. So I guess this is about the best we're gonna get it. All right, we're gonna go ahead on the rock on. And sorry for the delay. So either way, guys, uh, first things first, I want to tell everybody thank y'all for the support and for rocking with your boy. And being patient. Tonight, we're going to jump into some things. We're going to be talking about what's going on with the coup that's been heard around the world that was supposed to be overthrowing the Russian government, getting all liberals excited from here to Tinsdale. But unfortunately, it never came to fruition. We also going to be talking about what is currently going on. All right, hold on. I just get off that. We're also going to be talking about what is currently going on as well with Ron DeSantis. Somebody try to say that he's a racist. You know how that goes. It's always that card being played, and we'll be talking about some other things as well. If you want to see this stream better, go on Rumble on my posts. It's a lot more smoother. If you're on YouTube, again, I apologize. That's the best that I can do right now until my internet gets fixed, which will be sometime after Monday, and we can all evolve. So, with that being said, let's go into the first story right quick. I see my mug on what's they call that thing, Rumble. We're gonna talk about the coup that never happened. Vladimir Putin addresses Russia, reports of civil war, the psyops, and the CIA involvement saturate the information space. And this is all coming from the Gateway Pundit. Now, just a few hours ago, Russian President Vladimir Putin made a speech describing an ongoing operation led by external forces who seek to split the unity of the Russian people. Now, his speech comes after news that PMC Wagner Group commander Yevgeny uh, Prigozhin has seized control of the port city of Rostov on Don while demanding the resignation of Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu. Now, let's talk about this character that has came into the shadows that nobody has never heard of, and that's Prigozhin. Now, Prigozhin used to be a uh, caterer, okay, to the Kremlin. If you don't know what the Kremlin is like what we call the establishment in the U.S. of A. You know, the politicians that grease each other's hands and things of that nature. He made a lot of connections during that time. Also, he got financially rich with those connections and was able to come up with this group called the Wagner Group. Now, the Wagner Group, their whole goal in life is to be do the dirty work that the actual military of Russia don't want to get involved in, or the Spasniks is like, nah, we let y'all guys handle that rough stuff. We will stay on the professional, well-rounded stuff that we're been trained to do. Now, here's the thing. He was able to pull off something that a lot of people are not able to do, not even in this country, but in other countries. He was able to get 10,000 in volunteers to get in a contract to rock with him to fight against the war with Ukraine. And he also got 10,000 prisoners to also jump on board too. And we're talking about some of the worst prisoners. Some of these prisoners have seen conditions that you will not believe in over there in Russia. So with him being able to do that, he was able to basically get a well-oiled machine army that could come in and wreak havoc when it came to the Ukrainian war. But during that time, there was some issues. Issues was he needed ammunition to move forward and to take on uh, this certain country. I forgot the name of the country, but if you go to my boy ABL, he could tell you that name of that country. But anyway, he was like, "Yo, let me get these ammunitions. We can take over this country, and things will be a okay." This at the time, the government was like, "Yeah, we'll give it to you when we can." He had their people, the actual professional, real soldiers that work for the Russian government, laughing at them like, "Nah, man, you just hating on us because we got the ammunition, we're doing all the heavy lifting. You know, y'all crying for nothing." All right, so Wagner was like, "You know what? If I cannot get what I need from these guys, I'm gonna keep talking about it in the press." All right, he got the ammunition. He was able to do what he needed to do to help take control of that part of the city of Ukraine now, or towards the Ukraine border. Then it gets crazy. All right, all of a sudden starts complaining about they're not getting the support they need. There's a lot of things going on, and he decided, you know what? I'm enough for this. This prime minister, he's getting on my nerves. I'm ready to push this fool out the way. You know, let's go ahead on. Let's do this. So that's what he decided to do. He decided to do this coup. Now, the thing about this coup was they got all the major military installations that's controlled by Russia that they use, got them under their control. They got 25,000 strong troops, and they're like, all right, man, we're going to go out here and we're going to kick ass. But there's a major problem. Problem is that by the time they made their way to Moscow to prove their point, that's when a little birdie came in their ear and like, yo, man, you can go to Moscow if y'all want to, but Putin had already ran off, allegedly, to St. Petersburg for safety. But by the way, he's got all these National Guard members. He got everything he needs to defeat you. So you want to go up here and put yourself on a suicide mission, go right ahead on. And he's prepared to lock your butt up in a Russian prison and torture you as long as he can. Now, the Belarusian president stepped in and said, listen, man, you don't want to do this, players. Don't do this right now, man. I understand that the prime minister ain't your cup of tea, but this ain't the time to do this because you don't want to be that guy that's in prison as old as you is as a war criminal. Go ahead on, you know what I'm saying? You and Putin boys, y'all hug it out and we'll make it where you ain't gonna get persecuted. All right. That's basically what happened why the coup got canceled. Cause you like, listen, man, if I'm gonna cancel this coup, I ain't trying to go to jail now. I ain't trying to be in no prison and get beat up and roughed up like he do his other folks. Cause I ain't down for that. And knowing, Putin, cause that's his boy, probably said, listen, man, we've been friends for 20 plus years. I'm going to hook you up. You go and you stay over there in Belarus. Don't even come over to war Moscow. Don't come to war St. Petersburg. Stay your butt over in that area, and we'll be fine. All right? We can call this misunderstanding. And that's where we at. A lot of people think that this whole ruse was just a fake. It was a distraction. This is my personal opinion. I think it was a distraction at first, but when I look and read into the whole situation, what's going on, Garcia? Where I'm at, homie. I'm a little blurry, but we gonna make it. But I think personally, this was a frustration with the government. Okay, I think this guy knows his power. He knows his contacts. He probably hollered at Putin a couple of times. Hey, Putin, man, you need to handle this dude. This prime minister ain't doing what I need him to do to get this joint jumping. And Vladimir probably told old boy, oh well, man, I talk to him. We'll work it out. Just be patient. And I just think dude was like, you know what? I'm tired of being patient. It's not helping me. It is hurting me. It's hurting my cause. My guys are looking at me as a leader to make this as painless as possible because we're mercenaries. And then last but not least, who really want this guy to be over nukes? He's a mercenary. I mean, he was willing to go against Putin and do a suicide mission almost. That's not the guy you want in control of some of the most powerful weapons in the world. Sorry. I don't agree with it. I don't stand on it. That would be a dangerous situation. So, shout out to the Belarus president for making sure that things did not get out of hand. But I still would say that Putin is going to deal with this guy in a way where he might not put him in a Russian prison, but I'm quite sure that there's a punishment there that he got this guy. All right, yeah, you can do your mercenaries that followed you. They can follow you in the Belarus, and they can be at camp, and they can stay there. But that's it. You ain't part of this no more, cause you don't know how to take orders. You don't know how to listen. You're making me look bad in these streets. So I think that's the only reason why this dude got spared because of the friendship that him and Putin has had for 20 plus years. I don't think if they were friends for 20 plus years, believe me, Putin would have killed that dude. Real talk, Putin would have had that dude disappeared. It would have been a wrap. You know. Oh yeah, he would have definitely got murdered. Like my son said. Nah, not by this guy, son. His Putin had everything loaded up. That I'm telling you, I really think this was. I think the reason why dude backed down because this would have been in a very bad situation.
Dude didn't back down. Hold up.
Yeah, the coup.
Russia initiated that peace talk.
It was Belarus president initiated because he was trying to look at the bigger picture because Yeah, dude was coming with 25,000 troops, but Putin had over like 50 to 60,000 ready to go. So that's why he was like, "Yo, man, this ain't gonna be good." It would have been bad. I would have said 25 to 60. I don't. Yeah, it would have been bad. But shout out to my son. My son does not have no love for Russia. He, okay, he's just like the rest of us. At the end of the day, if it ain't about the U.S. of A., we shouldn't worry about it. But speaking of that, man, and I got making sure everybody can see me good on Rumble. We got some other things to tackle. Let's talk about uh Ron DeSantis uh on the NBA before we jump onto the to the sub, because I think a lot of people didn't hear about this. All right, give me 1 second. I gotta make sure everything's a okay. All right, I don't think it's showing it there. All right, I'm gonna have to go to New York Post. Hold on, guys. I'm dropping frames, but bear with me. We're trying. All right, so let's talk about this. I had to go to College Fix because it's dumb. So this week, Ron DeSantis was in an interview. What's going on, Anthony? Thank you for making it, man. And he was on this interview talking about his love of basketball. Now, I'm not going to read this whole article. I'm just going to kind of paraphrase some things. I'm going to say what he said. He says, there's so many places that you need to have on a baseball team, and there are different skills that are required. So some people can be a pitcher, some people can be a middle infielder, some people can be a catcher. DeSantis said, and so I think that there's a kind of a place for everybody in a baseball team if you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to practice. All right. Then the governor added he thinks baseball is very democratic and very meritorious game. But on the other hand, he looks at basketball as being played by just freaks of nature who are just incredible athletes. Okay? But all of a sudden, his comments didn't sit well with the University of Cincinnati Sports Administration Professor Wayne Black, who tweeted out that he thought the governor was racist. Now, guys, let's. I did a video about this recently. If you want to hear my rant, it's on YouTube as well. Freaks of nature. We've been saying that line for years, years and years and years and years and years. If you listen to some of the comments by black commentators and athletes, they've always said about basketball, freaks of nature. In fact, let me talk about, look up some of those comments. Let me go to Google. Let's say Shaq calling basketball player freak of nature. All right, let's talk about that. Oh, whoa. What do we have here? On YouTube, 10 biggest freaks of nature in NBA history. Wow. No one ever said that was racist. I mean, Shaq was called freak of nature all the time. No one never said that was racist. Black folks, white folks, everybody would call him that. So I'm trying to sit here and find out how can this be racist. In fact, there is an article in 2018. 2018, God, it seemed like it was ages ago. Let's look at this. This is made by Fade Away World More Than Sports. Probably written by a white guy because it said Namaja Vukovic. And look at there. It's talking about the Dwight Howard freak of nature with Russell Westbrook, Spud Webb. Spud Webb was 5'7". They call him a freak of nature because the dude was 5'7" and could dunk. Literally fly. Do you know how much hops you gotta have to fly and dunk on an NBA basketball goal? Spud Webb was between 5'6" to 5'7", causing how he was standing or what shoes he had on. And this man had a 46-inch vertical. I want you to understand what I just told you. You know what a 46-inch vertical is? Let's talk about this. That's almost a 4-foot vertical. So this man had a 3 feet 10-inch vertical. I'm going to say it again. 3 feet 10-inch vertical. He also had long arms. So when he stretched out to dunk, it's a wrap. He's got it in there. He is swinging on you. Do you know how embarrassing that is to have someone 5'7" with a 46-inch vertical jump dunk on you in the game? I would just walk away and never play again. Magic Johnson, freak of nature. Kevin Durant. Michael Jordan. Oh, Michael Jordan was always called a freak of nature. I didn't hear no one say that was racist. Giannis Antetokounmpo. He is considered a freak of nature. So I'm trying to find out the racism of freak of nature. LeBron James, Shaq, Wilt Chamberlain was definitely called a freak of nature. All right, this man was 7'1". In fact, Wilt Chamberlain wasn't even as thick as LeBron James, and they said this man used to lift 500 bench press 500 pounds and do 10 reps of it. 10 reps of 500 pounds before he went and played a game. Do you know how heavy 500 pounds is? Do you know how incredibly heavy 500 pounds is? That means he was lifting the 500 pounds like it was a sack of potatoes. So we've been saying this comment since the beginning of time. When did it become racist? That's all I want to know. I just want to know, have anybody ever felt disrespected for being called a freak of nature? I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out. I mean, I would love to be called a freak of nature. That's like almost being called a certified freak in the bedroom if you with your hot wife or girlfriend or whatever. I mean, what is that? There's no problem with that. That's stating a fact. You're talented. Oh, God. And then he said, well, you're trying to say they don't work hard. He never said black people didn't work hard. If you're a freak of nature, okay, and you got a talent where you got the height, you got the strength, you got everything there is to get the job done, you ain't got to worry about working hard. God has blessed you with abilities to where you can work smarter and not harder. Now, unlike baseball, the way baseball is designed, yes, everybody, it's a team effort. Just like football. Football is also a team sport. Look how many positions there is. Basketball only got 5 positions, couple of forwards, a couple of guards, and a center. To win the game, all you need is a strong three, really. A strong three. If you got a good point guard or a good guard, you got a strong forward, and you got a center that can rebound, or you got a strong forward that can play defense on the front and the back court, man, shoot. Two-way defense, that's it. You're going to win the game. You're going to win a lot of games. It don't take much. But when you're talking about baseball and football, it's more complex. Exactly, Lisa. Everybody want to be an athletic freak of nature. No one is running around here saying that's racist. Do you see LeBron James screaming that shit out? Excuse my expression. He has not screamed out near time. Oh my God. I don't want to be considered. Oh yeah, Anthony, you can find me on YouTube, Joel Davis Media Network, bro. That's all you got to do. Joel Davis Media Network. You'll find me right there on YouTube. And I type it there. Oh, Anthony J, my dog. I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out. Y'all give me one moment. I'm back, guys. I had to talk to my beautiful wife because she's not feeling too well with all this allergy stuff, but she's trying to make it. We done moved into this new place, and yeah, this allergy is kicking her behind. So y'all say a prayer for her. Hopefully it'll get right. But getting back to what I'm saying, man, like this is what makes liberals look so ridiculous. This is why black folks are not taken seriously. Cause of stuff like this. When you say stuff like, uh, oh yeah, by the way, uh, you calling me a freak of nature, and you're saying that these other teams like football and baseball, you gotta work harder. You're being racist because it's predominantly black. Okay, we know basketball is predominantly black, and we also know that if you are a freak of nature and you are one of those athletes, black, white, or whatever, and you get with another set of freak of natures, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna win the game. You're gonna be a champion. Baseball, you can have one guy. Look at Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge been on the Yankees and been knocking it out the park for years for the Yankees. I think he's been on there like what 4 or 5 years. And since he's been there, the Yankees probably I think they only won one chip with him, knocking it out the park. You know why? Because it takes more than just him knocking it out the park. There's got to be a pitcher that can do a no hitter. There's got to be a catcher that can catch the ball and keep it from going out the stands. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be someone who can play defense and throw the ball before the runner can steal base. Like there's more to baseball than there is to basketball and tennis. You know what I'm saying? And why they say people are a freak of nature in those type of sports is because they gonna be the one to shine more than versus the team sport. When you talk about a real team sport like football, you got to have a lot of components. You can be the best quarterback on your team. You can throw it. You can get all the people that you need to get to and targets you need to get to when you need to. But if you got a team that does not have no defense, guess what? Any given Sunday, you gonna get ran over. If you don't have no defense, you gonna get ran over. Cause sooner or later, that team is going to run you ragged because you have no defense. That's why they say defense wins football games, and that's true. You can have the shabbiest offense, but if your defense is nice, you're good. So again, this just lets you know how we have fallen from common sense in America. We find anything we can to be racist. And in speaking of that, let's talk about this one uh that recently just happened here. Hold on for a second. This is crazy. Oh man. Oh my god. All right, y'all. Let me play this. This is so sad. I never thought that I had to play something like this. In fact, hold on for a second. Let me I might can get it better on Google. Let me see if I can get on Google and find this joint. When I heard this, I was like, man, I know good and blame well this girl didn't set black people back 400 plus years of ignorance. But this is where we at. Oh my lord, I tell you. All right, so I'm about to pull up a video. I hope I can play it without it messing up us and everything. Oh yeah, Scottie Pippen was great. Now this girl is really retarded. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I know I shouldn't be that way, but oh God, no wonder. All right, let's talk about it, man. I'm gonna play this, and then we're gonna go from there. Hopefully, I can play this. I don't think they're gonna let me play this. 'Cause I didn't try to sign in. I ain't trying to sign in. I'm just trying to play it. All right, they ain't gonna let me play it. Before I can go back to another video. All right, I think they're gonna let me play it
Oh
now.
my God, you snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is gonna be all about me.
This is the moment college grad and adult site star Kadia Iman snatches mic from a lecturer who wouldn't let her say her full name during her commencement speech. Kadia Iman claimed the lecturer was pulling the mic down super fast for some black people and stole the microphone back to say her full name.
My name is
I got something to say. They said she is an adult star. She is a college graduate and adult star. I want to see how many people in the chats right now on both of my webs on both of the streaming platforms, YouTube and Rumble. How many of y'all think that she's going to use her college degree and stop messing with her adult star content, whether it's OnlyFans, mini videos. I'm sorry. Twitter flashes. How many of y'all think she's gonna really say, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take my degree and I'm gonna go forth and leave that life behind me and go." And how many of y'all also think she's gonna do both? I'll tell you right now, she's probably gonna do both. She's probably gonna go back to being an adult star. See, this is why, man, I miss the old school women from my era that raised me. You know why I miss them? The great grandmothers and the grandmothers. Because if they would have saw their daughter done that, they would have snatched that girl by that robe and would have commenced to whooping that ass. They would be already upset because she's showing her ass on and making money as an adult star. She would already done got that ass whooped for that. But then to go do that, oh Lord, no, Lord, no. It wouldn't be good. That's why I say, man, I miss them days, man. Now these modern chicks, they don't got no respect. They don't know how to carry themselves. They don't know how to just go through and stride. She mispronounced your name, but she didn't give you a chance to finish. So what? So what? You not gonna use your degree anyway? You an adult star. It's like girls that be saying I'm stripping because I'm paying for college, and then they make enough money to pay for college, and they look around and say, you know what? This ain't half bad. Keep on doing it. I'm just being honest. I don't think she's one of those 3% that's just gonna stop. I mean, look at her attitude, man. I guarantee you right now, she got content lined up for the night. Uploading it right now as we speak. I guarantee you she ain't put not one resume out there. And then here's the thing. If she puts a resume out there, because I'm quite sure if she's an adult star, she done showed her face, how you gonna explain that to your employer? Well, if it comes to what they call what they call that thing? Jesus. Moral clause. Because you got some of these places got a moral clause. They do not want you doing that kind of thing and exposing your face. So if you expose your face and doing all that, that's gonna be hard for you to get a job. Because think about all you open yourself up to. Some dudes know that you could do that. Psh, pro quid pro, a woman too. I mean, oh man. Let's continue with this BS.
My name is and I'm graduating today.
She took to Instagram to add that she is not embarrassed by her actions. She said, I did it for girls that look like me. The internet had their say on the matter, with many supporting Kadia and saying that they would do the same.
And I'm graduating.
Y'all, they kill me with that. I did it for girls that look like me. Or if you did it for girls that look like you, then why wouldn't you just shut the hell up and just get your degree and tell them about how to get your degree and things of that nature and move forward? But you ain't gonna do that, because I guarantee you now you're gonna take this time to market yourself, and you probably been dropping links left and right about your adult website where to find you on OnlyFans. I bet you her OnlyFans, she done probably jumped that shit up from $9 a month to probably $30 a month now, because she a star. I'm telling you, man, these chicks out here ain't about nothing, boy. These young girls ain't nothing, bro. I'm so sorry, bro. That's why dudes don't want to get married. Y'all keep wondering why young guys ain't get married right now. This is the reason why. Because of her ratchet ass. She's the reason. I'm going to put it right back on her. Don't forget her face. Okay? Kadaman. Akadiaman, or whatever her name is. You know what I mean? This is what she at. This is what she is. Made a fool out of herself just to market her brand. She told me, I'm not going to say my real name. Well, people know your name now. Kadiaman. I bet you, let's look her up right quick. It's sad. JDMN. Bet she got one. How much you want to bet? Hold up. What I told you. She an OnlyFans chick. What I told y'all. When she said she's an adult content creator, she an OnlyFans chick. I bet she got her OnlyFans like crazy. Sad, bro. Who daughter is this? Y'all failed that. She failed y'all. I know it ain't nothing to be proud of. She a professional college educated porn star. Kadioman. Oh my Jesus. I did it for girls that look like me. Lord have mercy. I'm saying, boy, this is the ignorance that we face. This is, oh God. White folks, I just want y'all to know all black people don't act like this. I just want y'all to know that. Not all black folks act like this. This is one of them hood ass, I gotta prove a point sisters. Okay, this is one of them that was raised by one of those I don't need a man. Okay, she one that gonna hit the wall right by the time she hit 25. She might be 23 right now. I give her 2 or 3 years, she gonna hit the wall. Cause ain't nobody gonna deal with her. Cause she one of them. Nobody want to be a single mama. Already. An educated single mama. With your daughter getting land, stop you from moving forward and doing your job. But some people, especially when it comes to their job and their family, and they feel like, well, I'm doing all this and I can't get no respect here, I'm out. But in reality, he just had to understand that business is business. You know what I mean? Like, business is business. You cannot get upset with these folks. You knew what you signed up for. You've been friends with Putin for years. You know how Putin rock. Putin rock different. Putin the type of dude, listen, man, if I don't feel like I gotta answer to you, I ain't gonna answer to your ass. I do me. And he know this about Putin. So I don't know why he took that so personal. He could have waited and handled that joint after he got back. Well, it is what it is. And then not to mention too, these deals that he was trying to get for his family wasn't working out. And so he had resentment. So again, it's a personal issue. Now it's so personal that his ass is nowhere to be found. So, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Kremlin handle business on low key stuff. You feel me? And then here we go again. This wasn't even on the top, but I just seen this. Blinken assures Ukraine that U.S. support is unwavering in the aftermath of Russian rebellion. I really want to adopt a Ukrainian family. So if you one of these Ukrainians that follow my stream, if you want me to be able to claim you on my taxes in the U.S., we need to have a correspondence because I really feel like I need to claim one of you fools. Because every time I turn around, your leader Zelensky keep asking for money every chance he get. So I need y'all to be on my taxes to get a cut because all my taxes is going to y'all asses. It really is because I don't see nothing that they're doing for the U.S. of A. We're fighting somebody else's war with a country that we really ain't had no beef with. The beef is you. You and your son, y'all just parading y'all dirt. Y'all going to, to different dinners and stuff, man, with the White House correspondents and stuff. Shaking the legs. So, yeah. Get out of here, man. Stop paying them fools, man. Work on the U.S. We know what you done did. We know you're a wankster. Let's see what else we got to talk about as we keep going. So, we're going to talk about this story here, which is really sickening. I've been wanting to talk about that anyway. A 16-month-old girl dies after Ohio mom leaves her home alone to go on vacation in Puerto Rico for over a week, cops stated. So this is the story. This girl is named Crystal Candelario. I hope I pronounced it right. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this story. I'm not even going to read the whole clip. And look at the beautiful baby. Beautiful baby. So this girl, unfortunately, I guess this woman did not want to be a responsible parent. And neighbors have said in the past, she would tell people, watch my kid for me, and would do everything in her power not to pick up the kid. We're talking about, they said there was one neighbor said that she had the kid almost a week. And was like, yo, you need to get your baby, man. Like, I can't provide for this baby. This ain't my kid. You ain't got no diapers. You ain't sending me no wipes. What's up, man? And then they said she would get the baby in like an attitude kind of way. But anyway, she wanted to go to Puerto Rico and decided to leave this baby home alone for 10 days by herself without no food, no water, no one to take care of it. Now, I want y'all to pause for a minute. This is a 16-month-old baby. This is a 1-4-month-old baby. What side of your brain told you, lady, that your child at 1 year and 4 months old can fend for herself for 10 days without any parent/adult in the house? This is the example of a baby mama terrorist. This is the example of why I tell dudes all the time, watch what you stick your pickle in, okay? Because there are some women out here that are not all there. They are just selfish, sick, twisted, do not have an ounce of humanity. And that's what we're seeing right here. This woman has no ounce of humanity. She left her baby for 10 days. I want y'all to hear that from me. 10 days. Can you imagine leaving a child of that age for 10 days? In a crib, soiled, can't fend for itself, crying, all that stuff, and you're in Puerto Rico doing God knows what? I just want to know what was so important in Puerto Rico that you had to do that you couldn't take your 16-month-old child with you. And then you went to Detroit. Lord have mercy. And then what makes it so bad is everybody saw this woman leaving the child in the house numerous times. But I know a lot of people ask with Joel, why didn't they report it? I tell you why they didn't report it. Because a lot of times when it comes to this type of behavior, you got child and family services will not do their job. They will give these people a slap on the wrist. They will go out here and come to the home and do this whole you got to take parenting classes bullshit. I keep telling y'all, when it comes to child protective services, we as America have the shittiest form of protection for children ever. They don't do anything until the child dies. That's when they want to bring their reports in and said they tried and they were told. That's why I say on child services, they don't never do their job. They really don't. The only time they do their job, they be wanting the person to be living in a stench. The child would have to be living in a stench. They would have to have bruises all the way down their body, and they would have to have like almost about to die.
Question.
Okay, hold on for a second. I mean, this to me is sick, bro. I mean, and I really, really wish that there was a way that we can get our uh, child services system improved because every time you turn around, we keep getting these stories where adults abuse these children to the point of no return, and they always wind up getting away with it until the child dies. And it's just sad, man. So rest in peace to the little girl. What's the little girl's name? I don't think they released the little girl name, but rest in peace to this baby. For real. Rest in peace to her. 1 year old. Didn't have no shot at life. Whoever got this woman pregnant, this Jalen, yeah. Shout out to little Jalen. Whoever made this baby with this woman, this father, I'm sorry. I know they say fathers have a hard time getting custody. He could have got custody on this one. I mean, people would have definitely would have stepped up and said, "Hey, she being by herself. You know, this child needs to be taken care of." Cause right now, man, this is sad. Dang. I hope she get life in prison. I really do. I hope she get life in prison. I hope that when she's in prison, she ain't got to worry about ever going to Puerto Rico or seeing Detroit. I hope she has nightmares about being in that cell over and over again. I don't want her to get death penalty. I want her to stay in that cell. Because that's just disgusting. Anyway, we're going to keep right on along. See here. Trying to make sure I got everything covered. Let's see what we got here. Trying to see if there's anything else. Now this is interesting. And while I go on to this one, y'all give me 1 second here. I'm about to take a short uh commercial break right quick. I'm coming right back. Hold on. All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry for the delay. I had to take a break. All right, let's jump into this story here. Anthony, there should be some people here. Most of the people are possibly over there on Rumble. Let me check and see. think everybody mostly on Rumble. So, but yeah, just go over there to Rumble if you have to. I'm quite sure there's a good bit of people over there. That he was targeted by colleagues for his race. Now, John Olson, he's an ex-Marine, claims he was beaten in front of a car full of non-white colleagues who stood idly by. So a white undercover cop claims his colleagues of color refused to give him backup during violent confrontation with suspects because of his race, forcing him to quit the force in fear for his life. NYPD Detective John Olson, a former Marine, said he could have been killed at least twice after Hispanic, Asian, and black cops working with him stood idly by while he was attacked twice during the drug buys going awry in 2019. According to a lawsuit filed Tuesday in Manhattan Supreme Court, I genuinely felt like my life was in jeopardy. If I continued, Olsen 34 told the Post, they did everything in their power to make it miserable for me. Olsen joined the department in January 2015 as a patrolman assigned to a public housing in the South Bronx before being chosen for specialized anti-crime unit according to the court filings. He was transferred to Northern Manhattan Detective Bureau in February 2019 to work as an undercover officer. The red flags appeared almost immediately, he said, while training for undercover work. Olsen said he was the only white officer. A senior detective anonymously commented, a white undercover, this will be fun. Within his first few months on the job, Olsen said he was surrounded and punched in the face in front of a car full of detectives during a drug buy in Harlem. The other detectives photographed the attack but did not intervene because they didn't want to risk being tainted by association with the white undercover, Olsen said in court papers. They watched the attacker walk back inside the housing project, Olsen said. It was totally against our rules for narcotics to let that go. Undercover detectives are required to have another officer nearby called a ghost who can jump in when danger arises, Olsen said. But he was often ghosted by his ghost. Damn, bro. Woo! The second an undercover's life is in danger or someone gets assaulted, the field team is supposed to move in immediately to apprehend the person and rescue the officer, he said. After the incident, the lead detective told him, sorry, kid, I'm not doing anything. This isn't 1992, according to the filing. Ooh! In 2019, Olsen said he was forced to chase down and fight a drug dealer who pulled a knife on him in Hamilton Heights. The dealer had ordered Olsen to smoke crack to prove he wasn't a cop, but Olsen tried to talk his way out of it, he said. Olsen pulled his gun and chased and finally subdued the suspect, but tore his labrum and rotor cuff during the scuffle and sidelined him until January 2020. According to his lawsuit. My life was in danger, and I know that no one is coming to save me because the last time I had to do what I had to do, Olsen said. An incident like this has injured Olsen would usually prompt a transfer to a different area. Olsen said, but he claimed he was never transferred because his bosses were angry he wasn't busting more drug peddlers. In September, Olsen said he caught COVID-19, which infuriated his bosses. They transferred him from Northwest Manhattan to East Harlem and the Upper East Side. None of his undercover colleagues at the time, which included 2 Hispanic officers and Asian officer, were transferred when they caught coronavirus and called in sick. Damn. His colleagues were offered more overtime opportunities. Mm-mm-mm. Olsen said, adding that his bosses made his life as uncomfortable as possible, including a superior who made a comment about his military service. He said, I'm going to make your life very miserable. I'm going to be on top of you. Everything you do, I'm going to be looking for mistakes, Olsen said. And I don't know why, but at the end, he said, it's because you're a military guy. Wow. Woo. I did not expect that at all, Olsen added. He said it was because I was a military guy, but I think it was also because I was a white undercover and they were trying to get rid of me. He resigned in May 2022 despite being 13 years short of full NYPD pension. I fought in Afghanistan. I was in special ops in South Bronx. I was an undercover in narcotics in Harlem, but I think that was the most was one of the most traumatic experiences in my life, having the whole NYPD weaponized against me, Olsen added. Olsen is suing the city for unspecified damages, citing discrimination based on race and military service. Rather than transfer our client to a situation where he could thrive, his bosses forced him into increasingly dangerous situations without backup in an effort to force him to leave the unit due to his inability to bring in numbers due to his race, Olsen attorney John Scola said. The flippancy towards Detective Olsen's life forced him into multiple fights with drug dealers and ultimately led to his resignation out of fear for his safety. The NYPD declined to comment on the lawsuit. Guys, this was probably going to happen. He's going to win it. And let me tell you why he's going to win it. Because the last white American recently that's been discriminated against since the George Floyd era of BS won. Because let me tell y'all something. I never thought I would see the day to say this, but white folks are the new black folks. And black folks that believe in victimhood are the new white folks. I'm being dead serious. And it's sad because this man was a national hero. Okay, he served his country. He was a Marine at that. And he chose to be in the NYPD. They talk about how hard it is to find decent cops. He was willing to go into the treacherous of the treachery. Okay, when you're talking about Manhattan, Brooklyn, all that, you know, there is a lot of treachery there. Okay, there's a lot of stuff goes on in those places. And he was willing to go there to prove to his colleagues, to, you know, everybody around him, I can do my job. And you would think that he would get backup. But he didn't get backup because he didn't fit the profile. He wasn't black, he wasn't Asian, he wasn't Hispanic. And that's disgusting. This is the same thing we used to complain about back in the 50s and the 60s as black folks. But then you look at some of these black folks and tell them this, the first thing they say, oh, well, that's just the roosters coming home to roost and all this bullshit. No, it's not. Two wrongs don't make a right, bro. Let the man do his job. Protect the man. This is supposed to be your brothers in arms. Back to blue, all this bullshit. I guess we don't believe in it now because it doesn't match the narrative. Man. And I feel bad for this man because it looks like he really put his heart and soul into this career, and all he got out of it was grief. So I hope he sues, and I hope he get all the money he can from them jokers. And you know what? I'm glad white folks are waking up and doing this. If you're getting discriminated by a group of minority people for no reason, because of the color of your skin, then sue. Sue their asses. Don't play with it. Sue. What they gonna do? Throw out the lawsuit? Doubt it. doubt it. All right, let's see what we got. All right, let me see here. See anything else? Trying to see if there's any. Anything else I can talk about? I don't think there's anything else. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, I think that's all I can find for the night. Yeah, but last but not least, let's talk about something that's funny. And this is the last one before we call it a night. I don't know if y'all guys heard this or not, but Elon Musk and
Did you see Mark Zuckerberg
Zuckerberg
won a gold medal in a Brazil?
might wind up doing a UFC like match. Now I don't know if it really gonna go down, but I can tell you what was how it all came about. So recently, Elon Musk got wind that Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook was making a clone-like version of Twitter. Through Facebook, because they been dabbling in something other than just Facebook. Facebook had started out with the whole gaming streaming thing, and that didn't work out so well, so they cut that out. And then they've been trying to compete with TikTok, with also with their other sister company, Instagram, with Reels, because you got their Reels and Facebook Reels, and you can actually put your Instagram Reels linked to your Facebook page on to that Reel as well. So it's kind of crazy. So Elon Musk was like, "Yo, man, if you do that, I would definitely fight you." And that's when Mark Zuckerberg was like, "Drop the location and I'll meet you." And that's when Elon Musk was like, "All right." And now the UFC guy, who is it? trying to find out who's the USC guy. I want to say not Joe Rogan. Dana White, yeah. But Joe Rogan's like, I don't think he has a chance. Elon Musk, but Dana White said they dead serious. So I'm gonna play a clip of what is being said from Joe Rogan's point of view.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition.
No.
Mark Zuckerberg is a f***ing savage. This
you
dude has been
imagine?
training jiu-jitsu. This is what he did. He wore a COVID mask and he put a hat on and he hid.
No.
And he
He
used an
secretly
alias. And then imagine you're right about to compete and like maybe your first competition. Well, just give it a try. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? Worst thing that could happen, you get strangled by a super
Mark.
nerd.
All right. So there you have it there. Mark Zuckerberg has been doing BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you got Elon Musk, who said he hasn't been physical in years, but he also know martial arts. I think it'd be hilarious to see two dudes, because you gotta remember, Elon Musk is almost 10 years older than Mark Zuckerberg. Me and Mark Zuckerberg the same age. So imagine Mark Zuckerberg fighting Elon Musk, who is like a foot almost. Yeah, Elon Musk got the height. He's like 6'1", 6'2", and he's 100 plus pounds heavier. So I think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be interesting. I think it'd be fun seeing the midget go against the giant. I think it would be fun. I think Elon, they both got competitive spirits, and this will let you see how competitive they both could be. I think it would be fun. I really do. You know, y'all got to understand something. When you looking at, he's 5'11" and 180. So he's got a four inch height advantage, and I think on Zuckerberg is like 5'7", 154 pounds. So 154 versus 180. But y'all got to also look at too is that Zuckerberg is very physically fit. This guy, he does push-ups, sit-ups. He's very and jiu-jitsu. So I think it'll be fun. But y'all gotta remember, rich people, man, this is what they do, man. When they get rich like this, they start getting real physically active. They start taking up trades to beat ass, man. They learn jiu-jitsu, martial arts. Look at Rick Ross, the rapper. Dude know how to box real well. You got Drake, the rapper. He boxes. You got what is it? I think one of those singers. There's so many of them that's active in self-defense. But you gotta be, you know what I'm saying? Because you living in a time now, especially if you're a celebrity, somebody might try you. Mark Zuckerberg, he got all that money. He's worth, $93 billion. He can't have nobody run up on him and slap the mess out of him just for fun. You got to be able to see that slap coming to make that person tap out. Same thing with Elon Musk. He worth $200+ billion. Can't have nobody try to uppercut him. You gotta be able to stop that uppercut before it happens. So kudos to him, man. Let him fight it out. All I know is I hope Elon Musk beats Mark Zuckerberg behind, because I don't like Mark Zuckerberg because he always allowing all that BS on Facebook for these liberals, but he won't stand up for the conservative part. Anyway, shout out to everybody tonight that came through, man. Anthony as well. Anthony, you was a real trooper tonight, trying to make sure people come to the stream. This was a great hour and 35 minutes of enjoying you guys. Also on Rumble, I appreciate everybody that came through as well too. If you really like this content that I'm creating for you guys, please do me a huge favor, man, and go ahead on and subscribe to my monthly channel on Rumble. I make it worth your while. You get exclusive content, things before anybody else will. Please support us as we continue to grow. Like, share, and subscribe. With that being said, y'all, I love y'all, but I am taking my behind to bed. My wife is waiting on me. Y'all know what it is. I'm out.